All right, hey, this is Sean Tierney with the Grid7 office hours, and we're trying to do this about every other Tuesday now. So until someone gets in here, what I'm going to do is actually do what we did last week and actually show you just some tips. So I've got three things I want to show you today. We'll start out here. So let me share my screen. Oops. Okay, that's always that's always the trippy part that weirds me out. So segment IO, I want to show you this. This is if you're doing any kind of analytics on your site. This is a really useful tool. We set it up about a month ago, and it's like one analytics hub to rule them all is the way you can think of it. But it's basically you install this instead of having things like your Google Analytics and your event tracking and your A/B testing and your Snapchat or Snap Engage and these other like live chat feedback collection mechanisms. So having all these different things on there, you just have one JavaScript that you put on your site. And the good thing is it's asynchronous, so it doesn't actually slow your site down. It won't make your pages load slower if this server happens to be slow. So, but it's just one place where you go. You add this one bit of JavaScript, and then you have this hub here of all these different services that it integrates with. And so you can see the ones that are green are the ones that I've flipped on. So we're using AdRoll for retargeting. Crazy Egg is like a heat map. See how people are almost like eye tracking, but it's like a click tracking on the page to show how people use stuff on your site. Of course, Google Analytics. Kissmetrics is what we use for funnel analysis. Olark is our live chat. Optimizely for A/B testing. Perfect Audience is yet another different kind of retargeting, specifically for Facebook. Pingdom, we have the monitoring service that tells us how our site is performing. Quantcast is for demographic research. And so these are all different services that we use, and rather than have a JavaScript for each one of these, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different services. Rather than having to maintain these 9 different plugins or 9 little snippets of JavaScript and load all these different things, we just have one thing that we put on our website. So it's pretty easy to set up. I will show you. Let me see if I can remember where we put it. I think it's in the footer, but I could be wrong. Let me just check here. So we happen to use WordPress as our CMS, so you're looking at basically the back end of our website right now for Grid7. So here's the footer file. I think they're going to make a WordPress plugin soon, but right now the way you have to do it is here. Okay. And I may be wrong on this. Yeah, I don't see the segment IO. So that tells me it's either in the header. Actually, I think I know where it is. It's in the widgets, in the footer part of the widgets. Anyways, like they give you pretty good instructions on how to set this up, so you can just follow their setup guide here. The one thing that you need to do to make this truly useful is to go in and actually configure the events that you care about. And this is important because a lot of times people will use analytics, and it's one thing to look at just things like website visitors and clicks and whatnot, but really what matters with the metrics is stuff that's relevant to the business. So you want to track those events that matter, things like a sign up for an ebook or whatever that conversion event is that you're trying to track, or even just going to a certain page on your website. That might be part of the funnel. So you just want to be tracking the things that matter to you, and really just have a set of numbers that's meaningful that you can watch. And just keep a dashboard to see how it's performing each week. And then obviously all this stuff is only useful insofar as it helps you make decisions and make changes to what you're doing based on the information. So anyways, really useful tool. Let's go on. So that was segment IO. I also want to show you Typinator. This is just if you happen to be on a Mac, this is a really useful thing, something that I use. So I'll just bring it up here. Actually, let me show you just how it works in action. So basically what it is, it's a app for the Mac that lets you store snippets of text, things that you use repeatedly. So here's an example. Like, I never remember our dial-in conference line, so I have it programmed, so I just say dial-in number, and it automatically substitutes text for that. And so anytime I'm like chatting with someone or doing an email or whatever it is, and I need to put a dial in, I just boom, type that in there, and it's there. You can also use it to do longer things, like here's for our other company, Jumpbox, here's JBox Renew. This is a standard email I have to type tons of times. It actually comes out formatted in Gmail. It does handle rich text. But anything where you find yourself like having to do customer support where there's like boilerplate verbiage that you have to keep using, this is a really useful app. So let me just show it to you. It is a paid app. It's relatively cheap. I want to say it's like maybe $50 or something. But yeah, here, so you can see here's where just set a bunch of standard text here that just fills in stuff for you. So it's very valuable. Yeah, so that's Typinator. Pivotal, the last thing I want to show you, this is what we use actually to do our project management for Jumpbox. So when we our feature development and all that stuff on the website. So, and I've been through a ton of different project management systems, literally like Basecamp, Asana, some Kanban based one, I forget the name of it, but this is basically a style. It's Kanban in the sense that you have left to right and you move these things through the stages here. But this is an awesome tool. Like if you're working with external developers specifically, I love this. So basically what you do is you add stories, and user stories, if you're not familiar with it, this is kind of a fundamental thing to the agile development methodology. But you make a story like you know, the consultants should be able to update their own profile info. So you make it usually with a stakeholder and then like a capability that they should have, and then you can elaborate down here, you know, more on this thing. Maybe you want to attach a screenshot, so you go down here and actually add a file to it, and then you have dialogue about this feature here with whoever's working on it. This handles features, bugs, chores, things like recurring tasks. You can assign it to someone on your team. There's an owner of it. You have followers, just like almost like Twitter, and then there's the concept of tags. So you can add labels, and like if you have different release schedules and stuff, you can add that there. But super useful. And then what you do is you build these up in a backlog. I'm just going to cancel that because we don't want it. But here's like, you can see these are the upcoming things that we're working on for Grid7 with our website. So let's say I now say this is important. So we want them to start working on this. You drag it over to the current, and then assign it to someone, and then basically start it, and it'll track it through different phases. As you add stuff here, it starts to learn what your velocity is and how fast you work as a team, and it will automatically kind of rejigger this, so you work in these what are called sprints. So you only have a few active things, but the rest of it will just pile up here in the backlog. So super useful tool. If nothing more, it forces you to operate using the agile methodology, which in itself is very valuable. So I highly recommend Pivotal Tracker. This is just definitely, I've looked at a lot of tools, and this is a great one, and it's very cheap too. So anyways, those were the 3 things that I wanted to show here. It looks like, let's see if we have anybody in the Hangout yet. Yeah, nobody's here yet. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run for a bit, and I'll leave a note here. All right, so I'll leave a note there, and then, yeah, we're going to try to do this weekly, or bi-weekly rather, every other Tuesday. You can go to our website, grid7.com, and just go to events to see what's coming up, and I'll append these videos as we shoot them too, so past stuff will be in here as well under virtual events. So thanks a lot.